Right, hello, good morning, good evening, and good night. I hope you guys are doing absolutely fantastic because in today's video, what we're going to be talking about is we'll be talking about the Yieldmax ETF monthly distributions for the month of January. And I actually made a previous video kind of estimating what these dividends would possibly be for TSLY, Square, and CONY. So in this video, that's exactly what we're going to do. And I want to say thank you to everyone down below who commented and made sure to let me know their opinions on my estimates on these three stocks. Obviously, I responded to a couple of you, and I definitely heard what you guys are saying. Some of you didn't necessarily agree with my opinions on the estimates, which is totally cool. And I understand I don't necessarily go through the options like some other YouTubers, for example. I am not an options trader. I don't know very much about options. I know kind of the principles behind them, but not how to trade them and not how to really watch them. What I do understand is how to look at charts. And so this is kind of just the last video was just kind of like my opinion based on reading the charts. I'm not an options professional. I don't claim to be an options professional. I'm just a guy on YouTube sharing his opinion. And I think with all of my opinions and the other opinions on YouTube, you guys can formulate some pretty good ideas around what the Yieldmax funds we're going to produce. And in this video, what we'll do is we'll check over how we tied out with TSLY, Square, and CONY for the options distributions for the Yieldmax distributions for the month of January, and I'll also let you guys know some surprises as well. So I do hope you guys enjoy this video, and without further ado, I do want to say we actually just gained 1 subscriber, so we're up to 3,816 subscribers, crossed over that 3,800 marker. So I want to say thank you to everyone who made it possible, and let's get into this video. So for TSLY, in the previous video, what I said, actually, you know what, why don't we start with CONY, because CONY was one of the biggest surprises from the previous video. In the previous video, I said that I thought CONY might get to about $1.20, $1.30, something like that, because I seen this massive decline in the previous month from the underlying stock, which is COIN. Now, what I seen here is we started about $136. We had this massive trace up to about $185, and then we traced back down to about $150, $160. Now, what I thought would have been for COINY would be a smaller dividend than the previous month, a smaller dividend than the previous month. You can see here the previous month was $2.46, but in this month coming up here, where's COINY? COINY is somewhat in the middle. It's right in the middle. So they're going to be paying a $2.69 dividend right in the middle beside distribution there. I can't necessarily highlight the screen, and that's why I'm saying that, but $2.69, which would beat the previous dividend from COINY. So that was a good plus for COINY. I was totally not expecting that. I was expecting a lot less. Moving on to our next one, we have SQY. This was another one that we estimated in the video before. I estimated it to be about $1, $1.20 or so, just because we didn't have as much of a run up in the previous month as Square, as you can see here from November 1st, which was pretty much down here at about $40, we ran all the way up to about $63. Now, in the previous month we started about $63, $65, and ran up to about a marker of about $72. So I had a feeling Square would be slightly less than the previous month. When looking at the previous month, we were at $2.14, and in the Yieldmax distribution here, looking kind of the third stock from the bottom, you can see we're going to be at $1.62 for January for Square. So they'll be paying $1.62 for their January distribution. Now, the last stock we looked at in this video was TSLY. And TSLY, I get a pretty good gauge just judging off of the price, because TSLY over the past month didn't move much at all. It moved from $237 to roughly about the exact same marker. And so I figured we'd have a dividend slightly less than the previous month, just due to the fact we didn't have much volatility and our share price is slowly kind of declining in TSLY. And what did we get for TSLY? We got at the very top a 56-cent dividend, which is 4 cents less than the previous dividend. So 56 cents, which pretty much ties into the last 4 or 5 dividends there. So not too far off for our dividend counts. I figured we'd be close with Tesla and Square, and I thought CONY as well, but CONY definitely surprised me with it coming in with a $2.65 dividend, the biggest Yieldmax dividend ever produced. Now, just looking at them all here, we can go through them all. We have OARC, Aptly, NVDY, which all paid dividends. or are going to pay dividends for the month of January. But some real surprises when you look at the bottom two stocks. You have MRNY, which is the Moderna Yieldmax ETF. Moderna had a really good month here from December all the way up until, well, December 5th to December, or about Jan 2nd. You could see that it appreciated from about $80 to about $110, which gave it a really big boost for its distribution. And MRNY, which is the ticker symbol, the Yieldmax version, the second from the bottom here, is going to be paying $2.65. So that is a pretty big boost on the dividend. And another stock which kind of I was watching out for, and which I saw here with the distributions, is the last one, AIYY, which I guess is an AI option ETF from Yieldmax. I've never really heard of this. It's come out kind of in very late November to early December, about like November 28th, and it is going to be paying a dividend of about $1.35. So that is another one that you could potentially look to your list if you are interested in an AI company, but definitely do your own research because I'm not necessarily sure exactly what that stock is. So these were the Yieldmax distributions for the month of January, with not too many surprises. TSLY coming in slightly less, which we assume. We have Square coming in slightly less, which we assume, but CONY staying up high and producing an even bigger dividend yield than the past. So we're probably looking at a 126%, 127% dividend yield right there for CONY, still sticking strong. So these were the Yieldmax dividend distributions. I actually did buy some more SQY, which unfortunately I can't show you, but I bought 12 more SQY, so our position is up to 22 shares of SQY, and unfortunately, the real dividend tracker here is not necessarily keeping up well with my dividends. I'm way over $200 in monthly dividends, but for some reason, it doesn't want to go on the payout calendar. So for SQY, I had 10 shares, which would have produced roughly about $16.20, but now I'm up to 22 shares times 1.62, and that gives us roughly $35. So we're up almost $20 on this recent buy for SQY, which I just put in. So I want to say thank you guys for sticking around and obviously enjoying these distributions with us. I hope that these distributions kind of came to a similar realization of what you had within your mind, and there wasn't too many surprises within. These were the distributions if you want to take a screenshot, but you'll see them in the Yieldmax funds very soon. So I hope you guys did enjoy this video and got a sense of what they were and what you will be receiving if you hold any of these funds. I hope you guys do take care, do subscribe, as we're up to 3,816 subscribers. I want to say thank you guys for joining me on this little adventure here, and I will see you guys in the next one.